Last year, Elon Musk, he sacked you.
Accra be hard, so stress for the yard, but we still go day streets, we for find some meats.
Stay by plan, stay by plan. All the girls, all the boys, for stay by plan. Stay by plan, Accra, stay by plan. All the boys, all the girls, for stay by plan. Stay by plan, stay by plan. All the boys, all the girls, for stay by plan. Just a stay by plan with Afi and Zuu. All the G's for Accra, shall we there for you? If you also want react, then that be cool. Hashtag stay by plan, shall we there for you?
Hi guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Stay by Plan. I'm feeling funky because I'm looking very nice. You know, there are those days that like you just wake up and be like, yeah, I'm really looking nice. But there are two people sitting beside me who are looking even nicer, wearing all black, doing crazy stuff for the creative space in Ghana. If you don't know these two people, then I don't know for you.
You're sleeping.
You're actually sleeping. We are graced and honored to have two key
let
people.
them introduce themselves. Let them introduce
Oh,
themselves.
I should mention their names. Okay.
Let them introduce themselves.
Okay. Please introduce yourself.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay.
Ladies
Hi,
first.
I'm Therese, but I also go as Ohima.
Oh, hey, man.
Hi, Therese. Welcome to Stay by Plan.
Thank you.
It's the best
I've been
part.
a fan.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
stop
I was coming to
it.
like toot my own horn, but you've done it
I've
for
been
me.
a
So
fan, so
Thank
I
you.
love that.
My name is Bernard
What
or
name?
Cafe. Everyone calls me Meister.
That's
yeah.
the name that we want to hear.
Yeah, Meister Mind. So that's me. Yeah, I'm also honored to be on this podcast. Yeah, I feel important.
Oh, stop playing.
We love that. We love that. So yeah, you guys are co-founders of Brand Meister, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now Jambo Spaces.
And now Jambo Spaces. Okay.
Jambo Spaces.
So tell us, like, what pushed you guys to be like, you know what? Let's make a. Oh, first of all, describe Brand Meister. It's a creative agency, marketing agency. What's that?
Are you gonna take that? Oh my God! All right, so because it's Meister added to it, so she
So
always
it's on
wants
your
me to
head.
lead it.
Yeah.
So Brand Meister is so it started off as a consultancy because we realized that like there were a lot of people who were crafting solutions and creating ideas for businesses, but not with strategy. So we're like, okay, we need to be we need to set up something that can provide strategic ideas that actually work. Not like, hey, let's get a helicopter and do this and just do some fun stuff. But things that actually work, things that actually change the way people do things. So that's why we set up Brand Meister. And yeah, so it's a brand, I'll say it's a brand agency, but we end up doing everything in the marketing space, from digital to below the line to above the line to events to whatever it is. And the reason why we end up doing all that is because when we go through a client's problem and we suggest a solution, it depends on how the solution goes. If it's a digital solution, then we end up executing. If it's a BTL, which is like billboard or something like outside out of home, then we end up executing. So yeah, we realized that we ended up doing everything in the marketing space, but we position ourselves as a consultancy. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's very thorough. Yeah.
And how many years have you been doing this?
You mean Brand Meister itself?
Yeah, just Brand Meister.
This is a 5th year, huh?
No.
Oh,
We're going
started in 20, launched in 2018.
That's when it launched. We were working
Yeah.
before that, but
Right.
it launched.
So officially 5 years.
Like about
Yeah.
four
Yeah,
or 5
officially
years.
5
But for
years.
me, I know it's longer, so sometimes I'm like, no, we gotta
I mean,
claim those years when
we were doing like little things, but when we
Yeah.
launched till now, like
It's
officially,
2018.
it's 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's feels like a quick 5 years, because I feel like I kind of saw you guys when you came on social media, of course.
Yeah.
And 5 years have flown by. That's
I
crazy.
know.
I'm feeling old.
You are old, Zuu. You're actually old. Can I ask the kind of brand you work with? Or you know,
Ah.
that? I have to ask Zuu now. Zuu is strict on me, so I have to be careful the kind of things I say on the
Let's have a
podcast.
chat. Let's have a chat.
So, what kind of brands have you worked for or with, brought them from the bottom to the top, or kept them at the top, whatever?
I'll let Therese take down.
Yeah. So since 2018, we've been blessed and graced to have worked with a lot of Ghanaian and foreign brands. Bloom Bar is one of our favorites. That one we started like from scratch with them. You know, they were coming into the market. They wanted to do a cocktail bar, and at the time, nobody had a bar that was focused on cocktails.
Yeah.
Right? It was in top of Sun City. It blew up, and the second location came, and the rest was history.
Nice.
Since then, we've worked with Jameson and actually just the Pernod Ricard brand. We've done campaigns with Coca-Cola, Malta Guinness, MAC Cosmetics. We even had, you know, we also had Live Wired, which was like the show that we kind of put together. We were the ones that did Dirty Rave 1 and 2.
Well, what about 3 and 4?
So I don't like you because the things I say in my head, you say them in real life.
Dirty Rave 1 and 2.
Why did you run into that one?
I mean,
You said to yourself,
you know what's funny? I knew, but I wanted to make sure the 1 and 2 was pretty straightforward. But yes, we worked. Honestly, we've been blessed. Like we
what's the
worked
name
with
of that?
Baltic.
What's the name of that food brand?
Honestly, we worked with so many
The
brands.
one we did in the
Sometimes
mall.
forget. Oh, Emborg.
Emborg.
We did like an
we did
Emborg kitchen activation.
We worked for UN agencies, IOM, the migration one.
Yeah, we worked with.
Yeah.
There's only one I know of, the Verify.
Yeah,
Verify.
That was actually
yes.
our second.
Were you on campus when we did that?
Client
You were on
when we
campus.
started.
Yeah.
Let's have a quickie.
Let's have a quickie. Yeah.
That was fun. They were like,
know-
oh,
you
we
know
have a
what that is?
boring.
Yeah, I remember it's some app for STD checks or something.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice. Wow,
You're
we
up
did
to
our
date
job.
with your reproductive health.
With my what?
Your reproductive
Yes,
health.
ever since Tyson came on, like I've been up to date with
That was
everything.
last week.
Yeah, that's but still.
That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, so we've been blessed like to have worked with like a lot of brands in Ghana, honestly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm just giving her ad-libs.
Would you say, so would you,
Welcome.
do you guys feel like if it's not for Brand Meister, the landscape, the marketing landscape in Ghana will be very different?
Oh, no. I mean, there are really, really dope creative agencies too out there. I will never take that. I'll never try and claim that. We have our process. And they too do some dope stuff. Like I see agencies do some stuff. I'm like, yo, like I wish that was my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also believe that like we've done things a bit differently because we go to clients sometimes and they're like, yo, this is refreshing. I've had that so many times when people like I share my deck, my solution, they're like, yo, this is refreshing, this is thorough. Because we do like lots of research. We take you from like the insights. So we have a tagline called backed by data, led by strategy. So like we use a lot of data, and then that's what advises the strategy. So sometimes when even we receive the brief, we have no idea how it's gonna like what we're eventually going to do. Like we do a lot of like brainstorming from the data that we receive, and then by the time we're about to go to the client, we're like, yo, look at how this thing transformed into this. And sometimes the reason why I say we do a lot of strategic work is that sometimes we need time. Some of these things we want to like condition people and change the way they do things. So we need like probably like 3 to 6 months to see a real impact. But some people come to us and want like quick,
1 week.
especially when it comes to brand stuff, quick, like you overnight. You want people to change the way they maybe buy things or to just start buying your product when your product is something that probably just came into the market. But we want to like gradually condition people. Like Bloomberg was a good example. And I'm sure if you saw like months after, the way nightlife even changed, the way people now start going out. There were people who weren't even going out because they had either go to a nightclub or not. And they weren't nightclub people, so they ended up just not going out at night. But now there are people who are still not nightclub people, but still go out at night every Friday because a lot of bars have replicated that whole thing of outdoor concept, have lights.
Good music.
People just knew that okay, they could just set up a bar anywhere and then it would work. So yeah, and that was over time. Like it took a while before it picked up. Yeah.
Okay. Therese.
Yeah.
I'll come to.
So if you leave me, I'll talk.
I'll come to fire you.
Sorry, Therese.
Okay, so Therese, you didn't grow up in Ghana, did you?
Why would you say that?
No, it's okay.
I don't know why would he say that. Like,
Why would you
why?
say that? No, I didn't grow up in Ghana.
So you're in Ghana by choice.
I am.
But you're here when you're 2. No? Okay, 2 you
No,
remember.
okay, no. Honestly, no, I didn't grow up in Ghana. I am here by choice.
What kind of choice is this? Like, I want to understand because a lot of people in Ghana are trying
They are very
to
good.
go,
We're trying to jack back
but you've decided to come here
by choice.
and stay here.
I want to make here work. And I think that's why working in branding and marketing was important to me because in every country, brands actually shape the culture. How we choose to dress, eat, who we become friends with is shaped by what we're watching, the commercials, everything like that. And so I felt like all the, honestly, we can't control the government, but we can at least control like what we do day to day. And
So like the culture.
Yeah, it was the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I wanted. That's why I'm here. But yeah, I mean, my grandparents, my mom, my dad, everyone's Ghanaian.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't born in Ghana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it's working?
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I wish I could say it gets
We
easier.
are staying by plan.
Yeah. We're just, 5 years is a long time. I mean, like he said, when we officially decided to start the agency, he's like, you can't do it from the US anymore. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me try. So the 5 years of Brand Meister is also 5 years of me in Ghana.
Yeah.
And the last 5 years, I've learned that, you gotta keep going because you have no choice.
Yeah.
You have people that you gotta take care of, people that are believing in you, and and we don't do our work just for us. I think what was really important about, even though we started the agency because we saw something was missing, I started to realize the people we worked with, the people we worked for, were really impacted by what we were doing. That I felt like it was like a responsibility to keep going on. So yeah, that was kind of what inspired that. But yeah, it hasn't been easy. A lot of betrayals, a lot of like downs, ups.
You make them start
Everything.
asking you questions.
He's nervous. Don't worry. No, I won't talk.
But I admire that though because many people, I've seen a lot of people who came after 1 year, they said, Charlie,
The system is not working.
I'm going back. I can't do this. So yeah, 5 years is a long time. So
But I definitely think that what works in this country is when people realize the power of collaborating. Unfortunately, we're in a very competitive, focused market. But when you have people that come together and say, let's make this work, the benefits will come, then you start to see, that's the time when it gets a little bit comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, even, with you and your team, what you guys are building with your podcast, I'm sure you're learning that as well.
yeah.
Because
100%.
in the beginning, it's you guys have an idea, there's an idea, but you need people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's made...
Who believe in innovation?
Yeah, that's what's made this easier, is people. We have people with us.
Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, because we have a lot.
I know you have a lot. But okay, what has the culture shock been like? Like how some systems, basic things work there, they don't work here. Why is the transport
Let me say...
not transporting?
I know, I don't want to go into, anything crazy, but I will say that the way women have to, be forced to interact in certain spaces is what was a culture shock for me.
Right.
When I would go into meetings, even though they know that I'm running this company, they're ready to treat you like a secretary or act like you know what you just said. They're not talking to you directly. They're
always
speaking
talk
to
to
everyone.
You need to put that skits at this point. Talk to me directly.
No, but even my female employees, how they would react when an older person, I'm like, what are you doing? You're working. Why? But I realize it's a part of the culture.
Why are you getting up to give your seats?
Why are you giving up to give your tea? Why are you giving up to give water?
Offering water.
All those things. And, me coming from America, I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah.
And then some people might say that I'm being rude because to them, they're like, oh, I'm an older gentleman or I'm this and I'm that. And to me, I'm like, no, I don't want my female employees to feel like their boss didn't like stick up for them.
Yeah.
And so for me, the biggest culture shock was that, like, or seeing people on the timeline and then you see them in person and the things they're saying and then you're supposed to just work with them and I'm just like, okay.
I like that.
Zuu, ask the question that you want to ask.
Last year,
When he looked at his hand, he was like,
I don't know why everybody's laughing. I'm not even asked the question yet.
all right,
Last
go.
year,
Let's have it.
yeah, let's have it. Last year, Elon Musk, he sacked you. Like, yeah, let's get into it. How did it happen? Yeah, you have the table here.
That's
the
it,
Twitter
though, you have
table.
the table.
You come for a table, oh.
Yeah. So Elon Musk, yeah, my bestie. No, but that thing was not even know. I know where to start from. Like, but it wasn't just me. It was a business decision. We saw it coming. New owner, someone bought a business. He has to make it profitable, so he basically halved the company, literally. Yeah. So it's nothing like based on. It's not an attack on my competence or anything.
Yeah.
No. Like I was killing it. Everybody knows I was killing it. But yeah, we lost an opportunity. I don't even think it's me even losing the job, but like I feel like Ghana lost an opportunity or Africa lost an opportunity to basically compete globally because that was like a crack had opened and we had put our leg in, like by me joining the company, and I was doing everything possible to make sure that like I carry everybody along, like verifying people, putting people on. Yeah, the day you're going to give the Bluetooth, that's the day they So yeah, like we were dragging. I was trying to drag everyone along, like making sure that like everything I was doing, putting people on, even getting vendors here. I remember Black Sheriffs. I'll give you an example. Before I did some content with Black Sheriff, and before that, Afrochella, Twitter flew a team from the US to come and just shoot regular content, like videos to celebrities backstage. It flew like an 8-man team all the way from the US. I don't even want to go into the budgets of what that, like, well, I'm sure you can guess. And to me, it was mind-blowing, but I had to fight and make a point that we can do it here. You need to engage local people. If you've hired us, then we should allow us to execute with our people. So I was so close to that. Like I eventually got a local person to shoot Black Sheriff's video. And that was like, to me, the beginning, because they loved it so much. They're like, yo, let's do more. So I was like ready to like put everybody on, from vendors to celebrities to anybody at all that used Twitter or benefited from Twitter. I was ready to like carry everybody along. Yeah. And unfortunately it didn't happen. So, I mean, it got cut short along the way, but the mission is still the same. It's still the same goal, but we will find other channels to still carry people along.
Like Jambo.
That's why Jambo, like the moment like I came out of the job, I'm like, yeah, Jambo was a dream. Like it needs to happen because now I would have the power, and there's not going to be like any sale or anything that's going to prevent us from carrying everybody along. So yeah, it basically opened. I feel like Twitter opened my eyes to the possibilities of connecting Africa to the world through creatives.
Yeah, and even I'm just like give you props because we all saw the work that you did at Twitter. I think the verification thing became a whole thing.
Yeah,
but I think it was actually very necessary because I mean now verification is very different now than it was back then.
Is it $8 or something?
Yeah, but I mean it was very. We saw the use. We saw how important it was. We saw certain people getting verified when they should have been, way before. But then we also saw you kind of getting like backlash when certain people go verified. My favorite one was Haji Bintu.
Yeah,
Haji Bintu got a blue tick.
So this is the thing, right? People didn't understand the criteria for getting verification. I mean, what's out there? All you have to do is Google it. Yeah. I was at work one day, and then I just got an email from someone from Ajabintu's team saying they want her to get verified. And the usual, I'm like, okay, can you provide? So, okay, the reason they wanted her to get verified, they showed me 8 screenshots of different Ajabintus online. And they said that people are using those handles to defraud people. So she's worried, like it's a problem. And this is why this is why
The whole
like
point of verification.
yeah, that's the whole point of verification. So prevent personation and all that. So I'm like, okay, this is like a good case to get verified. All I need is 4 articles of you in like renowned media and recent ones. These people had like 14, like they had a lot, like Ghana Web everywhere. Taja, even like Google her, you see. So like, who am I to say? Yeah, I mean, she is a creator. She's creating content. She's doing videos on TikTok, and brands are working with her. So if maybe people sitting on Twitter feel like maybe they don't respect her, so they would have the right to come and say she doesn't deserve a blue tick. I mean, that's their problem, but she's doing her thing. Like, so and the thing is, people thought like I had like a button that I'm just pressing.
Blue
okay,
tick,
you verify. You take like no, it doesn't
right.
work like that. Like all I have to do is let you apply, then I send an email to say I vouch for this person, and they would accept it because I'm an employee. I'm working from Africa and I'm vouching for someone in my in my space. So once I send that email, they would fast track it. So I mean, it would have gone through the normal process, but the moment I send that email, they'll fast track it. That's why it could happen in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Like, you get what I mean? Yeah.
So why didn't you get a blue tick?
It was a company policy thing that you don't want like a target on your neck. But I mean, I couldn't. I was eventually like when I say a target, I mean like people would know. They didn't want most people knowing that these people work at Twitter, because the cases in like India and other places where people show up at people's doors for different reasons because of Twitter. They don't want someone like attacking you, or even if you're targeting you for your devices or anything. So they just didn't want that thing on you. Like, when you tweet it, everybody can see. And also, I never really pushed for it because it got to a point everyone in Twitter could tell that like I could not hide. Like everyone like in Ghana knew that, that's a Twitter guy. So that reason didn't really matter. But so I mean, there was a time my boss said, "Do you want a blue check mark?" I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, it doesn't change. If I tweet, I'm still Meister. Like, people still see it.
That's right.
It still makes the impact it's supposed to make. So it's not necessary. The blue tick wasn't really necessary, and it's a vanity thing to me. So I couldn't be bothered, to be honest.
I still.
I would have lost it when they took everybody's own, and I'll be there like, oh, Charlie.
But like, moving to Jambo Spaces, what has been the process? Because the location is very, like, what's the word?
Nice.
Tantalizing.
No, as in like it's a key location, like
Prime.
that's the word. Like, it's a prime location,
tantalizing.
and the setup is nice. The place is nice. So obviously, this isn't just a one-day thing. It's something that took time.
We need to take that frame and put it on our page. This place is nice.
Yes, it's a prime location.
It's a prime location.
Yeah. So Therese, if you could just like throw light on it, what has the process been like, making this a real, tangible thing?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to Brand Meister, right? So we started working with companies, and in 2018, the first influencer campaign we did was with Ogilvy and Coca-Cola. And at the time, they weren't doing full-on campaigns with influencers who weren't celebrities, like who they considered celebrities. 2018 wasn't an influencer year. And going to these brands and telling them, look, it's not about the followers. These people can create really good content. And we are using our name to vouch for them, to say, we know they can get your brand out there. They almost didn't even want to pay. Like, it was this whole thing, but we said, take a chance. And the campaign went amazing, that we started getting other brands saying, hey, can you also do influencer campaigns? One of the main things that was important to us was getting influencers paid what they were worth and charging the brands. So we would always say to call them the influencers and be like, okay, what does it cost you to set up and even create this content? They would tell us, we would tell them what a reasonable price would be, and we would go back and fight for that amount. And we take a fee for finding the influencer, but we never take from the influencer. And so we kept doing that for years. Pandemic hits. We tried to start a company called Ripple. Yeah. What happened was, obviously, campaigns are all shut down. Now everybody wants influencers, want to work with influencers. I'm sure you guys saw the infamous like Malta Guinness campaign, like with some people typing at their desk and
Remember that viral video?
I saw
some of
that, I
them
saw
went
that.
content. Those are some of our
Someone was
influencers.
typing and there was this influencer. What's her name?
I don't think her name.
Oh,
No,
but
say the name,
it's-
say the name.
it's-
I don't remember.
It's not.
No,
oh,
no,
man, I
no,
forgot.
but like it was just there was different videos that went viral
Right.
with some of these influencers, but some of these influencers weren't doing influencer campaigns, so some of it caused some controversy. Like, why is Malt giving these people? Actually, no, I don't think anybody realized in the beginning it was an ad.
Okay, like
it was just-
examples. Someone was on a treadmill and was drinking malt. Like every now and then they'll stop and drink malt. Someone was typing and then will pick malt and then drinking. It just looked inauthentic. So I think
Yeah.
people were saying that this doesn't look real. Like
let's be
it
serious.
looks like you're forcing the people to
Right.
post.
And
Yeah.
so what we realized too was other people started creating, like when we came out with Ripple and what we wanted to do, which is we wanted influencers to be able to tell how much their content is worth and how much they're worth. Because in Ghana, people will base it off of, I know her.
Yeah.
Let's give her 500 cities, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that's not the value of the content. Like you can't base it off of just because you know somebody and say, oh, 500 cities. No. What if it takes like 500 just for them to transport to do all of your content? Like another 1,000 to just even get a camera to do all of that. You need to pay them properly. When we started that, other people started popping up with their tech as well. It became a bit overwhelming and we started focusing on South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria because Ghana started to feel like people were coming to us and it was starting to get complicated, right? They would reach out to the influencers privately and try to beat down prices and a number of other
There are examples
challenges.
that, let's say, they'll come to us, an agency will come to us and come and request influencers. So it's like they have their campaign. They know we've done it really well with influencers, so they want to sublet the contracts so that we execute and then they just collect the money and they pay us. And then they'll come to us and then we will recommend, because we had a tool that
We actually had the real tech.
would match the influencer to like the interest. So if it's a drink brand, we can find you like the top influencers that basically will post and will give you the right traction for the drink brand. Because sometimes you use an influencer who you think just has followers. And that's the mistake a lot of people were doing. They just say, oh, this person is famous. I don't want to mention it, but they'll let the person post about probably food, but the person
It's fashion.
drives interest in probably fashion,
Yeah.
and nothing is gonna happen. Like you're just gonna see very weak responses.
Yeah.
But we had a tool that will basically score the internet per location, per interest, and tell you top 5 or top 10 influencers that will do well for a Coke or a Fanta or a whatever, this sweet chocolate or something. And then we will recommend those influencers to the agency. Now these guys will now go and eventually come out and say, oh, the campaign is not gonna happen again. And then they will go and contact the
Behind your back.
or
That's
sometimes
so
we will give even
shady.
though some brands that we went all the way to the point where
We even created the content.
and
plan,
then
everything.
they went to DM all these guys, hosted them for dinner, and then started engaging them and doing the exact thing that we said. Basically, it was a space that was not too protected. Like the end goal was for the app, for the tech to do it by itself. I mean, I'll let Therese continue. Sorry.
No, I mean, but he's saying everything right. We realized that we lived in a country where influencers just weren't going to get a fair.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when the agencies are always going to prioritize the clients, you guys will know, like, as
Oh, me, I
creators,
know, pa.
they're going to come to you and just say, oh, this is the last budget. This is this. But they won't tell you, like, what the real is.
Yeah.
So when we decided to put Ripple aside in Ghana, and we were still continuing with campaigns, MAC Cosmetics still wanted us to work in the country. And because, I honestly feel like because MAC was outside the country, it allowed us to work with like Nadia, Kezia, I'm trying to even think of the names, all the women who've been able to work with us, and they were paid pretty fairly. Even just for one video. Sometimes the team in South Africa would be surprised with the amounts of content that the influencers in Ghana were willing to give them. And that's what we want to tell the world, is that the creators here actually do provide value. Similar to what Bernard was saying on Twitter, if it wasn't for him pushing to say, we have our own videographers with high quality equipment, they make assumptions based off of their own perception of Africa.
Yeah.
And we realized that if we kept allowing ourselves to play in, the agency space and compete with other agencies, we weren't really assisting the creators the way we wanted to. So then when our lease was almost up, and we were like, we don't want to be in this office anymore. It's very officey. We used to do this thing called Future Fridays. And Bernard, will bring in like his friends, and Clay also, shout out to Clay the Mogul, also bring his friends and people. And we used to have artists, different people just in the place, just creating. Sometimes people would say, oh, I need Wi-Fi. We'd say, come on by. And we were like, you know what? Imagine a space that we can do all these things, where people can come and shoot, they can record, they can do whatever. And there's no barrier, right? We, I don't know if you want to talk about how we found this place, because honestly, if you saw what it looked like before, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, aside that, the beautiful thing about this is that the idea evolved over time. Like, first we were like, okay, we just want creators in a space to work, like a studio. And then we're like, okay, what if they just, first that was for creating. Then now we're like, okay, what if they want to actually work? Like, we should find a way, because people used to also just come and sit in our office. They don't work for us, but they're like, they're just using our internet because they have a relationship with me or Therese or Clay. So we had encountered a workspace concept before. Our first office was in a space called Workshed in Spintex. So like hot desking, co-working, we're like, okay, we know what that model looks like. We have an idea what the creating concept will look like. So now we should find a way to merge it all together. So we started looking for spaces. Like, it was crazy. Like, we would these agents, agents in Accra, they'll take you in circles. Sometimes some guy said, oh, this is a nice house in East Legon, big house, whatever. He showed us the inside pictures. Okay, let's go. This guy took us like behind Trisako, through some lungu. Like, we're almost getting to a shaman, I swear to God. Like,
No, it was a shaman, but he just took it from the back.
it was crazy.
I was so disappointed that day. I was so sad.
And then when we got there, I'm like, fine. It was a beautiful house, but like, how would you get there? Like, first of all, this created a lot of them. Their pockets are not like heavy. Like, people just want a space that they can just maybe pick one or two trotros and they'll reach. You know what I mean? Like, not that you go and pick trotro, go and stop somewhere, crossroads, take another one, take Okada. No. So that was just like one of the very terrible experiences. But we were looking until we chanced upon this place. When we saw this place, right? First, I saw it first, and then I'm like, Therese, let's go and have a look at this place. And when we go here, I'm sure she thought, there's a building in the front.
I was like, wow.
She thought I was talking about the one in the front. I'm like, no, it's this one. And this building it wasn't painted. It was the roof inside was off. Like, it was, I'll send you the picture so you put it up. Like whilst you're showing this, it was abandoned. There was algae on the walls downstairs because the pipes had sort of burst inside. Right. It was just a mess. It was like and there was some church perch in an uncompleted building. It was chaotic. Like, even me, like, even though I could see the vision, I knew my pockets would not will not make it happen. Like, so I was not sure. Like, but I still could see the vision. Like, this is a spot. It is within view, but it's out of view. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, it's by the roadside, but you have to just take a turn.
You can easily miss the turn.
Like,
it's there.
It's perfect for creatives. Like, easy to access, but we're not in your face. Like, we're doing our thing solo. And also, it had like so many rooms. We had dreams for like. Anyway, so that's how Jambo basically came to pass. When I told her like, this is the spot, so like, we basically spent almost 6 months in this space with we moved Brandmeister office here. So we set up one room for Brandmeister office. So we were working from here. And then to prove the point that like this place can actually work, I started work on the music studio. And then after we set up a music studio in another abandoned, messed up room, when like everyone now came to see that, like it's so cozy, it's nice, like this place gonna. And then like everybody now started like seeing the vision right. I mean, by that time Therese was sold on it and everything, but like every other person that we're talking to, trying to get to support us in one way or the other, didn't think like, are you people, you sure? Like,
Yeah.
who even patronized it? Charlie, turn them into some apartments or something. Like, we had a lot of that, like, turn into apartments or something. Like,
I'm like, how many apartments are in Accra?
Enough.
But like, I
billion.
also feel like outside, like everyone's building for creatives, but Africa, people are still acting as if the creatives are in the low hanging fruit.
yeah.
And they don't realize that the amount of money, value it is to actually contribute to that ecosystem. And so, yeah, when we wanted to build Jambo, like, I mean, I'll just say what Jambo is essentially, right? It's a collective, group of spaces in one place where you can do events, co-working, recording studio, podcasting, video, photography.
Yeah, I call it a
everything.
one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And people will be laughing at me like,
And eventually want
those
to like,
Ghanaian ads.
yeah. And like eventually we want to add funding opportunities and opportunities for people to actually like rent equipment and get access to certain creator brands. So, we're in conversation with some of the big ones right now to just say, look, we have real creators here that are doing the hard work. We need you to come and support them like you support everyone else around the world. And we knew that we needed a space where they can actually come and meet them. Because you say it, you're like, oh, there's creators in Ghana. They're like, and you know what ends up happening because of Ghana is who you know.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't know you, what ends up happening is you don't get that opportunity. And we see what happens with the year of the return. So many creatives, I feel like, kind of miss out, not because of anything besides they don't know the people organizing, right?
100%.
But they're doing amazing things in this country. And so we want to make sure that when people come to Jambo, we're literally saying, hey, who do you know? Bring them here. Maybe like a YouTube is coming or TikTok is coming. Let's make sure we show them everyone. And so, yeah, we wanted like a home for that. And that's what we've built.
And how's it been like so far? Since you started?
It's been
been like
amazing.
3 months, right?
Before we even get into that, like one of the big things that we really want to do is to, when you said give money, like we want to give money to creatives or creators. I always say this, that like there are more creators than equipment. When I say that, it's like there are a lot of people who are creating with their phones.
Yeah.
They wish they could get a good camera like this, or some lights at least, or a ring, even as simple as a ring light, but they probably can't afford it. And if you look, right, I don't know if you guys own this equipment, but most people who come and shoot here or do anything here or anywhere else in Ghana, they rent equipment.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So our goal is like, we want to buy any kind of equipment you can think of, and then allow people to rent it at really discounted prices. Or just being a member, you can basically access the equipment and use it. That's it. And also fund projects. So people want to do documentaries. We want to be able to say, okay, how much a documentary? Okay, it costs $10,000. We should be able to give you that money and find a way in which you can sort of pay back, but not like hard, or by even just doing something, a barter with us or something like that. We're still trying to figure out and iron out how that would look like. But we want to give money to creators, and we want creators to also have access to any kind of equipment. There was a time before even the Jambo, or shooting something for Apple. I mean, when I used to work with Easy, so I was shooting something for Apple, but for Easy. And we had to go. Why are you laughing?
You've given them the.
Why are you laughing at something that's on my CV? So we went to go rent. How do you call it? A camera. They said they wanted. Was it an Alexa? Yeah. And at that time, there's only one person that had it. It was Ramesh. You know Ramesh? Apex. Yeah. So we had to go and rent it from Ramesh. And even you had to rent the camera with an assistant. Like, to all your costs, you have to make sure that, like, we flew to Kumasi that day, we bought a flight for the guy.
Yeah, because he has to watch the camera.
Everything. Like, he has to manage. You can't touch it. Like, you just tell him how you want to, he will do it for you. Now, we should be able to have that here.
Yeah.
Someone should want to do a documentary, and because it was super, I don't even want to talk about the price, it was super expensive.
Right.
To rent that camera. And I mean, it was Apple budget, so I was good. But a regular person might want some kind of quality because maybe they're going to Netflix, they're going to pitch to Netflix, or they are trying to do something that will win them some film award somewhere in France or something. And they should be able to just come to Jambo and be a member and then have access to an Alexa and shoot without having to break an arm and a leg. You get what I mean? Yeah. So that's a dream. Like, that's the vision.
I mean, when I think about you guys, like, what was it like starting your podcast? Like, in a way, like, I'm sure you guys.
So don't do that. Don't do that.
This is diverting the question.
No.
Answer, Joe.
It's a good question. It's a good question. Afi, please take it.
Oh, it's been tough, but I think we've had like a very good support system. Shout out to Ellis, Senabaita, Nams, Nikita. Like, the names are too many, but I just think for us, the good thing was that when we started, there were a few people that believed in the dream and ran with it much quicker than we envisioned. But then, for the most part, it has been a train now.
So, I remember when we started.
You don't have a sponsor yet?
No.
We have like some that come and go, but
Not like someone.
You said that when you started.
When we started, there were times where I remember there was this one episode that's like I was set up the camera and I would like press record and come and sit down. So no, let me go and check. Watch it back. My head is cut off. So I have to like reposition. So like, I think our biggest resource is the people that we work with.
Yeah.
You know.
Big up
The
to you
community.
They are smiling. But yeah, without you guys, of course, like we wouldn't be able to do it. So
Yeah.
and then of course we were lucky, you know, to have like some equipment, and then also work with people who also have some other equipment. So we kind of like put stuff together. But like you're saying, most people don't. What we have, most people don't have it.
Yeah.
You know. So every time I think about it, that this what we do is almost impossible for the average Ghanaian.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah.
And the idea is to have these kind of spaces to make the barrier to entering like that kind of creative space a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why when we said we wanted to do the space, it's not just about having the space. We said the funding, because we know money is important.
Yeah.
A lot of people fund a lot of tech stuff. And when you look at the tech community, they have somebody always teaching people, ready to give a computer, ready to do this. But when creatives come out to say they need something, some people are like, is that really important?
Yeah.
Can that really make you money? It's because they don't know that people are making money. When you see Kabi Lame, he didn't say one word. He's making millions.
Yeah.
What is it, Majimbo? Eating chips in her bed. You're independent. People are making money, and they don't realize that a lot of the problems we're trying to solve in the country can be solved through creatives and assisting to the creative economy. And that's why we want to build Jambo across Africa and then eventually to the world. We have partners in the US ready for us to work on Jambo there. We have partners in the UK. We're looking at South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya as our next new location. Rwanda and Uganda as well as our next location.
We have big dreams, but no money in the pocket.
But then we have people who have been like, you know what, we see what you're doing, we see the vision. And because the outside the country people understand what we're trying to do, we are literally like hearing more people say, okay, how can we help? How can we support? And we want to make sure that when that support starts in Ghana, this is our home, you know, we start here. And we want to make sure that, you know, creatives like you guys.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell them that you know some podcasts.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Always.
They need some money, so they
Always.
Some equipment.
No, for sure. I mean, and you know, even teaching some of the creators here how to apply for things outside the country, because sometimes too, you might not realize how much of a good job you're doing that you can actually get grant opportunities, or even just be sent to like, you know, South by Southwest or like any kind of conferences. There's a lot of things that, you know, could be open as long as you guys know who to talk to.
We don't know.
Exactly.
We don't know, so please help us.
Don't worry. And that's what we wanted Jambo to be. And not to be in a cliche way. People ask us, so what are you doing this for? Our work has literally been this.
Yeah.
Sometimes when, you know, we're doing an agency, you want so bad to make it about yourself and the money. And there's so much money we probably could be making to just be like, let's mind our business.
Yeah.
But I also think, you know, coming from like where I'm from, I know the biggest impact is made with time. Same thing for like what he said, like everything takes time. And I know that it'll pay off when all of you guys become, you know, big time, you know, celebrities and in US movies, UK movies.
Receive it.
I know that, you know, one day you'll be like, oh, can you come to my movie premiere? I'm like, See, this is why I did it.
I'll fire you out. Don't worry, I'll fire you
Yeah,
out.
they'll be at the Grammys with their setup.
Right.
See us out there.
Save a plan.
Right?
And you know, Afrobeats is, and that's why, like, when you see things like Afrobeats coming out, people are looking because as the world is evolving, creatives are the ones pushing it. We can talk about tech. I don't want to put anything against the tech companies or anything like that, but I do think you can't evolve like Africa without creatives. Our stories need to be told. Like, we need to actually put money where it can actually go to the world, because the internet is small.
Yeah.
And imagine when people like are supporting Africans here, we now can use that money, take care of our families, change lives, and do a lot more. And that's the kind of thing that we want here. We want to eventually start. Like you said, it's only been 3 months.
Yeah.
It feels longer since we've been here,
Yeah,
but
actually, same from the outside, it feels way longer.
yeah, but we want to be able to say, hey, look, we know YouTube is coming into town. Are you guys available? Let's have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's happening
Yeah.
right now. It's happening for like agencies,
Yeah.
but agencies too, we all have we have our agenda,
Yeah.
you know, but
Facts.
imagine someone actually being an advocate for creatives, and that's what we're looking to like fully accomplish.
And I want to ask like controversial question. It's not about your life. That one is coming, but not that one. So I mean,
I'm ready. I was born ready for any question.
you guys have had the opportunity to work with creatives across Africa and even the world. Do you think Ghanaian creatives are very like overly competitive in a way that doesn't even make sense? Like they've called Zuu to do, let's say, a stay by plan ad. They've called me to do a stay by plan ad. And you know how like the creatives can be weird, like we're our own enemies, because I know that they are giving me 5K and they're giving Zuu 2K. And I know Zuu has more value than me. But then I'll just keep quiet and like mind my own business. But imagine if I'm like, yo, Zuu deserves 5K. And Zuu deserves more than 5K, for example, and they give him 10K. Like the next time, I'm definitely going to get like 8K because my value is like just, you get what I'm saying? But then there's this competitive, like, oh, I don't know, but like, oh yeah, I don't know, I don't, oh they called you, oh, like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is it unique to Ghana or is it just a thing across?
I'll let Therese handle that. She works directly with creatives.
So technically, it is a thing across.
Right.
There already is a gap in the influencer marketing industry around the world. But if I am going to come and target Ghana, when we say Ghana, we're really saying Accra.
Yeah.
Accra is like very small. If there's like, let's say 100,000 people in Ghana, Accra maybe has 20,000 of them.
Yeah.
Which means the brands, everyone who works for them, people who are giving the money are all in one small place. All the influencers in Accra benefit the most. And so what ends up happening is, unfortunately, the brands, the agencies, everyone that works will get more value to have you guys not want to tell anyone else that you're making more money.
Yeah.
They might even one day tell someone and say, oh, she took less.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not going to go ask her. And that's what they benefit from. And that's kind of what we were saying is we were advocating for it. But, you know, when we're only one and there's 10, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
I do wish that more creatives in Ghana realized that they would do better working together and there was a transparency thing. Because some of them are taking lowball offers that you don't even know. You know, like you'll think they're getting paid, but they're not. Yeah. And they don't realize that it hurts even more because later on, all the companies who promise to pay you more later, they don't.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a culture thing or is it a specific Ghana industry thing?
I think it's a culture thing. I think people still don't understand influencing.
Yeah.
A lot of people sit back and
the influencers
even the influencers don't believe I should. I don't think a lot of them when you give them money. When I put certain amount of money in front of influencers, they're almost like, "Are you sure?" You know, like
Yeah.
And that's when you know that they're not just being given what they're worth.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because it's Ghana, and like I said in the beginning, people are gonna base it off of Zoo's. I like Zoo's content, but it's not. I don't like it as much as like Afi's content. Like, and that's not influence.
Yeah.
Real influence is I know what to give Afi, I know what to give Zoo, and wow, look at all these people coming like from this. And when you find out later, when people like, when I saw somebody was saying, back to Hija Vintu, she was saying something about how she was able to buy her car with her content. And people were like, they don't believe it. And I'm like,
I believe it's
I'm like, I mean, someone that's a TikTok influencer right now
Yeah.
that has,
Check.
I think, almost 1 million or so.
I think more than 1 million followers.
Yeah, like I don't like they don't understand how you guys are making money. And it becomes one of those things where the adults are looking at the children like, this can't be real money.
Yeah. You're doing
And
something shady
exactly. And that's what we're trying to change too at Jambo. Like people really don't understand how you guys are making enough money. They're going to work every day.
Yeah.
They're, doing their 9 to 5 or they're doing other things and they're saying, hey, I'm working hard to make money. And you guys, to them, it's like, you're just sitting there talking
and laughing.
talking and laughing, and they're giving you how much money? Hey,
Yeah.
like to them, it's like they don't. It's to be honest, a lack of respect.
Yeah.
In the industry and in the field, and it's unfortunate. And that's what I'm really hoping it'll change because it'll just benefit the whole world to have that. Yeah.
So, moving forward, what you guys? I mean, obviously you've spoken about Jambo, but beyond Jambo, do you have any plans for Ghana's creator economy?
I mean, the rental thing is a big deal for us. The fund thing too is a big deal for us. And then also to expand into other African countries. I mean, the whole goal of Africa to the world for us is it's not just being stuck here in Ghana. Like she said it, like Ghana, a lot of it is, when it comes to the creator economy, a lot of it is defined by the capital. Like, I'm not saying there are no creators in Kumasi and all those other places, but digitally, when you even check the stats on Hootsuite and stuff, a lot of action happens in Accra. And Accra is very small.
Yeah.
So what impacts, like the impact is very little. So we need to find a way where there should be collaborations between all your top creators here and creators in Nigeria, or top creators and creators in Nairobi, top creators here and creators in South Africa. It should be something that could be done very easily. That's the goal of Jambo. There should be, we want more Jambo spaces in different places in Africa, so that like we can easily do like collaborations, podcasts, all kinds of things. Even working, like going to just sit and meet people, connecting with them, collaborating with them, and creating with them. So that's the goal. Just global domination, but from Africa to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I feel like he's kind of said it all.
She added something. She said, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like he's said it all. We want, like, let's say, Stay by Plan to be in South Africa.
I want it too.
Same.
Kenya, wherever, and that costs money, right? But imagine a brand flying you out there. We want Ghanaian creatives to realize that their content can go beyond Ghana.
Yeah.
Their numbers already do.
Your audience should even change. Like, you should look at the people viewing or listening to your podcast, and you should see maybe more Kenyans than even Ghanaians, or like the places that are popular, so like Nigeria. You should see more Nigerians probably listening, and then that should even drive a shift in who you get onto the show.
Yeah,
you get what I mean? Because Accra is very small, and I don't want to even delve into our music. Like, I see a lot of debates online about Ghanaian and Nigerian artists, and like everybody's doing their best, but it's a numbers game.
Always.
If you are a business person, work in a label, and you want to invest in music in Africa, what are you going to look at? Numbers. And if a country that's 200 million has a hit song, you understand? Do you know the impact of the streams on that? Like, not just even the 200 million people there, but the people in the diaspora. Like, Nigerians are a lot.
Yeah.
So one hit song in Nigeria obviously gets the interest of a label who wants to now invest and will listen to them. Like, if a local artist from Ghana and a local artist from Nigeria send their songs with their data to a label head desk, you look at the numbers first. You don't even look at who the artist is. It's not even a personal thing. They don't care. It's like, it's the numbers.
Yeah.
When they look at the numbers, they'll come and invest in that. So I don't want to say they'll always have an upper hand. We might influence them whichever way possible, like through a highlight from time. But they would, and the same with creators, like podcasts, stuff like that. You should, I sit with Sheldon sometimes and I tell him like, yo, like, it's time. Like, find a way to start going out there to maybe Nigeria. You have the numbers. So if you go to Nigeria and you say, look at my numbers, I want to interview you in Nigeria. Before you know it, you start getting a large Nigerian audience.
Yeah.
And then it starts shifting, and before you know it, like you're taking over Africa. Look at Wodemaya. Wodemaya has so much following from all over Africa because he moves around. You understand? So even though he has a lot of Ghanaian, whatever, the reason his numbers are so many is because it's not just Ghanaians looking at his content. You understand? But sometimes it's not our fault. Like, we're comfortable. We're used to having engagement from here, but we need to brave it and say, you know what, it might cost me some money or something, but one interview with maybe a creator or someone in maybe Nairobi can change your audience drastically, or even in Nigeria. You know what I mean? Yeah. Before this conversation gets into a different debate,
No,
but
even
that's just what I'm saying.
Even, I mean, you were using the music analogy. So just to wrap this up in, like, let's say 10 minutes, I can tell that you are...
Oh, I'm enjoying this thing so much. I don't want to wrap it up. Wrap it up, nigga.
We'll have more off camera. But yeah, we can tell that you really like music, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell, yeah.
It's flowing the veins.
Yeah. And you said you've built a studio, it's downstairs, very lovely place. And you've worked in the music.
Meister music.
Yeah, you've worked in the music space. We even tried out the studio, like Afi and I did some one or two.
When we're releasing that record,
They're not done yet.
okay, let me
to
know.
produce a song.
We'll come and release it.
So yeah, you've worked in the music industry before as a, I don't know, should I call it a talent manager? What
Zuu,
would
just
you
get
call
to the
it?
That's everything, like everything. I've done everything some in that space.
So at that time, do you feel like you were the backbone of the said artists?
Oh, you can
Oh, you can
mention
say their
names.
name.
Oh,
Okay.
With your chest, you can say it with your chest.
why
Don't
you
be shy.
beating around the
maybe
bush
10
like
years.
it's a sacred thing
Was
to
it 10
talk
years
about?
ago? About 10 years ago.
No, it started in like 2014.
2014.
Like Bankula, so it started in 2014, yeah.
Yeah, almost
But
10
like
years.
official working relationship ended like 2018. After end of 2018. End of 2018, yeah.
So just for people who don't know, he was working with Mr. Easy as a manager. Please tell us, just tell us what happened. Why are you
No,
not,
it's
But why aren't you still
why are
working
you not
for
working
him,
with him
though?
anymore?
Oh no, I mean it's growth. Like people get to a point in their lives. It's normal for people to not see eye to eye or not align at a point. If you're working with someone and you don't have conflicts, you're not growing.
Yeah.
It's very normal. Like
So we'll be having a some
do
conflicts
you
later.
know the
Aw,
conflicts?
that's perfect.
Do you know the conflicts that Therese and I have?
Yeah.
To the point that like she wants to head her own company. I also want to head my own company. Like, but she's opposite of me, and that's why we've come this far. I have a different personality. She has a completely different personality. So there's a lot of friction. But at the end of the day, if I don't have her, I won't move forward. I won't move. If she also doesn't have me, she won't move forward. And I think when it comes to Easy, like I think we are very similar personalities. Very similar. He's a boss. I'm a boss. Everybody has their ideas. At the point when I was engaged, like when I started, he's my friend. I was trying to help to blow, and that's just all I was trying to do. Like see my nigga blow. That's it.
Yeah.
So at that point, I had expertise in something. He had expertise in something else too. And I was like, I was the marketing guru and everything. I feel like he kind of outgrew me, and it's fair to say, in some sense, like he kind of outgrew me, and he wanted to see more. So yeah, it was okay at that point. I think it was perfect timing for everybody to part ways. And then like if that didn't happen, I won't have Jambo, I won't have Brand Meister, I won't work at Twitter, I won't do all the amazing things I did in that period. So yeah, it was a moment of growth for me. Yeah. Moment of growth, yeah.
So there's like no bad blood. You guys are like chilled. You guys text each other every
Oh no,
month.
I've not heard from him in like since that moment. But I mean, he's in the beginning, like he used to try to reach out, and I think I was just in school. I was doing my masters. I was too busy. But we don't really like engage with each other. Like, but I like obviously like I'm not walking around with like I don't like him or anything. No. Like I listen to his music. It's in my playlist. Like
Because the perception out there is kind of like, oh, he got to a level, then he just dumped you. And I was like, oh, brother,
no. I can't be damned. I can't be damned. Only
cannot
maybe.
be dumped.
That's why we have. That's why we have.
I was on a
these-
different trajectory. He was
Trajectory,
also
yeah.
moving a different direction, and we all just said, you know what, like we've done it to this point, so it's time everybody just. You know what I mean? Yeah. But people have had their own experiences with him. At the point that I was working with him, we were amazing. Like,
Right.
until I realized that it's time. Like, it's time for me to move. I mean, when I sense that thing, I'd just take off.
But anyway, yeah, good answer. You're ready to be a president.
Some
'cause
nice
Charlie,
media.
the way you massage the thing there.
Things
I
are
like
being
it.
very diplomatic about
No, but you
it.
should
No.
be anyway.
He
'Cause
does very well with these answers.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, but no beef. Like, I've grown past it, like, completely. Like, yeah. I mean, it's normal for, like, so I'll say this, right? Like, even for example, Twitter, when I had to leave, right? You realize that the job you do becomes you at a point. Like, I still get people messaging me, like last week, team messaged me or called me and said, oh, his Twitter is off. And I'm like,
it's like, guys, did you not read the
like,
news?
or even when I see something happening online and someone is in crazy trouble with their account, my first instinct is, let me help.
Yeah.
You understand? I realize I don't have the tools anymore. So it defines you to a point that, like, it becomes part of you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I still use the number I was using for bookings when they used to call Easy to book him.
Yeah.
I still use it up to now. So you can imagine, like, parting ways, and then still for like over a year, people still call you. Even this year, one of 5 people have called my phone. I think even last week, GRA called me about Empower. Like, you get what I mean? Like, I still get calls from it. Like,
yeah.
But what I'm driving at is that in the beginning, it's tough because you're trying to make a decision that will shape the new tangents in your life. And then you're still being sort of like roped into this. Or people are still defining you as that person, probably having heard that you and that person doesn't work anymore. So they're still engaging you. Or someone will even invite you for a meeting for something. Then when you reach it, you realize that the meeting had nothing to do with you, but it had something to do with that old whatever. And it's hard. At that point, it is hard. And it's not easy on the mind. But like, I feel like I'm in such a completely different place now that, like, like, I would even recommend gigs to him if I have the opportunity. I play his music. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I do his lyrics. Like, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I respect that. Some people wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't.
Maybe if you interviewed me in 2018 or 2019, that's when this podcast would have been lit.
That guy.
But the wild thing is that at that time too, I wasn't ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, now I freely talk about it. It's not a big deal.
That's cool. So before we wrap up, I have to ask my favorite question. I know Bernard is like a family guy, like you have a family.
I watch Family Guy.
So, yeah, right? And Therese, you have like siblings and like you're the oldest. Yes, I googled you and stuff. Yeah, so like you guys basically have people.
There are 5. Okay, that was working. Don't worry.
You have people who look up to you, right? And you are in a very, I'll say, uncharted field in Ghana. Like, the risks be plenty, Charlie. Like, people, they look up to you, they do this cha-cha. Like, what is the support like, especially from your side? Like, you have a wife who's like, hey, Charlie, are you going to use the money that's really this thing to go and do tiles at Jambo Spaces? You know? Like, what has it been like before you wrap up?
I like to be, like, in the beginning, and a lot of people do this. They get on, entrepreneurs get on these things, and then they act like, oh, it's perseverance, it's determination, it's hard work, it's this. It's hard. It's can I swear?
Oh,
it's fucking hard. Like, it's fucking hard unless someone is really, like, financing you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you for a fact that in the beginning, a lot of our money was going into these things, and it was bleeding us. Like, I don't want to say some things here, but no, like, it's been bad to the point that, like, I've sold my car before. I've picked trotro before, like. In that period of hustling, you understand? But people also see you in time and be like, yo, my stuff fresh. Like, no, come on. Like, we've gone through it. Like, we've gone through it. But my advice is that, see, if you can have a source of income that will keep you sane whilst you explore your entrepreneurship dreams, do it. Do it. I still have a job. I still have a 9-to-5 job. Whilst I do Jambo. No, I won't come and lie and do like, oh, it's hard work. We wake up, we grind. No, we grind, fine. But I still, at the end of the month, I still get my salary. Yeah. And I know that that's what keeps me sane. I'm a family man. I have to pay fees.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here and be doing chances. And I'll tell you on this podcast, I'm not even paying myself yet on Jambo. But it will happen, like, because even Brand Master, we started like that, hustling, down and crying from our pockets. And then gradually we could pay ourselves and then increase with time. So I'll just say that, like, if there's something you do, don't quit your job completely and say, yeah, like, because, you see, outside the country, it's easy to do that. This is a country where, and before they come at me politically, but it is hard. There's not a lot of support for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of support for entrepreneurs, and you have to figure your way out. So if you have a way that some income is coming from somewhere, it doesn't even have to be a 9 to 5, but if there's some income coming from somewhere, it makes it easier to navigate the entrepreneurship journey, because then now you're not doing desperate things. Do you know what it's like when that's the only way you know you'd make money?
Yeah.
So you better be taking anything. Like I remember when we started Brand Master, sometimes some clients who work for crowd, when we come back to the office, we're like, hey, what is this? Like, because you would end up finishing a project and you realize that you didn't make any money.
Yeah.
You just, the money you spent on transport, this just because you're trying to build a relationship with some client and then you accept some job for cheap. And it got this, we grew to the point that Brand Master, we don't pitch. We don't pitch again.
They come to you.
Yeah, like, no, like
Yes.
if you come and you want us to pitch, we reject it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it out of, I'm not being,
Cocky.
I'm not being cocky or anything, but because I realized that, like, the pitch process will take 10 days agency time, getting everybody, designers, copywriters, everybody working, ignoring other jobs, losing money, lies, whatever, paying the salaries, and then sometimes you go and pitch and you don't get it.
Because they already know who they're
Yeah,
getting.
or you go and pitch and then they already know who they're going with. Or you go and pitch and they take your idea and go and do it.
That's the
So it just gets to a point where, like, let's explore a no pitch policy and see. And funny enough, that made us more money. Because then if you come and we tell you and we give you how we work and we give you an invoice and we say make a deposit and you make the deposit, we know you're a serious client. So you not waste our time. Like, time, you can never get time back. That's something you don't mess with. Time, you can't get it back. You can't get it back. I don't want to say something, but you can't get your time back. So don't let people waste your time. I'll just say that. If you're starting an entrepreneurship journey, don't let people waste your time. I know you want to do a lot of favors, but a lot of people are ready to waste your time, especially in this country. They'll waste your time well, knowing that from the beginning that they've come to engage you. From the beginning that they've come to engage you, they know that they're not going to do anything with you. But they will string you along, you will do proposals, you do things, you not sleep.
Everyone in the room is
this. Like, by the time you are done, you not make anything. But because you are seeing a dream that, like, hey, Charlie, this client, he messaged me, like, I'll even do the first one for free.
Yeah.
That first one for free will be the last one. Because they'll do it. Yeah, listen, there are people that know that they have some status, right? And when they engage people, they get a lot of free things done. So when they come to you, they know that you are so starstruck at the fact that this big client or this big whatever company has reached out. So, let me discount it for relationship's sake, or let me do it free for relationship's sake. Don't come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard. Like, I'll just say, if you can find another way to get some income whilst you chase that dream, do it.
I remember when we had that conversation, I think a year or two ago, and we were talking about management for creators. And I was saying that I always advise all creators to manage themselves first.
Yeah.
Because the frustration that will come to the person who's managing you, to all, like, and it's not even maybe their fault or not, but like I said to you, it allows you to understand what you even feel like you're willing to do and not do. When you have a manager too who wants to be fed, you want to be fed. You might end up doing things you would never do if you sat back and said, okay, do I want to do this? Yes or no? Let me not compromise on that. And yeah, that's something that we even fight over sometimes. It's like, sometimes he'll be like, no, I don't want to do this. And me, I think of it like, oh, come on, and we can. And later on, I realized he was right. Like, sometimes you don't.
Vice versa.
Yeah, sometimes you don't.
I think I'm the softer one. Like, I'm always, friendship. Oh, my guy. Oh, this person. And then she will be like, no, we run the business. No, we run the business.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll have a fight over that. But no, it's normal. Like, But if you are, in simple terms, if you are not very hungry, you can think, like, you can make good decisions because you are not taking the job because you just want to eat. You are taking the job because let's say you have a brand to build, you have something, a direction you're going, and then someone will come and try and offer you something which is not in line with your brand. But because, Charlie, if you get some money for your pocket, so you take it, and then you realize that you start diluting the brand, and then before you know it, I can give a lot of examples, but they'll just come for me. But a lot of brands, a lot of people, entrepreneurs do that, like, because if for chop, so I'll just take it, and then you see them doing something like, but this guy, didn't he start like this? Why is he now doing this? Or why is this company now promoting this?
Yeah.
But it's just not in line with what they stood for. But because they are hungry. But also, not everybody can get a side job.
Yeah.
So I won't also talk from a place of privilege. If that's the only thing that will make you money, wake up in the morning, keep your mind focused. Don't be there's someone that I've been watching, right? Trying to build his brand or like a business here, and spends half of his time like shit. It's like when the person makes money, they're just out always balling. I know you need to have you need to do how do you call it, things for your wellness and everything. But I mean, the person is in the line of work that I've been in a couple of years ago. And I watch the person and I'm like, you need to be crazy tunnel vision. There's a time that people don't see me out. And it's as if it become part of me. Like, I don't go out like I used to anymore. It has just become part of me. I'm not saying don't go out, but I'm just saying that I was so focused on building that dream that like, weekends gradually, that is like extra time for me. I feel like at that time, everybody has let their guards down and that's when I'm going to go full. Yeah. So I wake up in the morning and boom, 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 I'm waking on my laptop and in the evening probably I'll just go and relax somewhere. But just keep tunnel vision. Don't listen to noise. Don't come online, see what someone is doing and feel like, hey, I have to shift this and be like this too. No, the reason that you set forth, just do like this. And then just go. You will lift your head up one day and realize that, Charlie, you're really far ahead and you've gone so far. Yeah. So just focus. If you have no option but to do that, keep your mind on why you started until you finish it.
I just want to say something on the support, because I know that's what the question was. Regardless, Bernard does have a supportive wife. Shout out to Kiki. And my family, no, they weren't maybe supportive at first, but but I mean, I think being the oldest, I personally wanted to break out of being a good Ghanaian daughter or a good Ghanaian child. And so that's kind of what kind of inspired what I've been trying to do in Ghana. I think a lot of like diaspora, like Ghanaian children, you go through the struggle of your parents have struggled to go to America and they're working hard, take you through school, doing this, so you should do what they say. And it took me a long time to try to break free, to let them know that I can also do things my own way and still allow myself to be good. And I think I always tell everyone, at the end of the day, our parents just want to make sure that we can take care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as long as you keep that in mind, whatever they say, it's a lot easier to like absorb and like take in. Yeah. So, yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I think we've come to the end of the conversation.
Oh no.
We definitely have another one, but yeah, this has been great. I've enjoyed myself, learned a lot.
I have learned a lot myself too.
Yeah, we'll continue off camera.
Jambo Spaces.
And please, be coming to Jambo Spaces. You can find them jambospaces.com. What's it called?
Yeah, that's the website, jambospaces.com.
Yeah.
Jambo Spaces on all social
media. And also staybyplanpod.com and staybyplanpod on all social media. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining us and see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. This episode of Stay by Plan was hosted by Afi and Zuu. Production by Afi, Zuu, Senna, and Nikita. Episode was edited and produced by Zuu. Sound design by Senna. Photography and videos by Ellis Etonam and Nams. Motion graphics by Eugene, and the intro song is by Lil Kwaw.